Welcome to our deep dive into the world of custom notebooks. We're going to be looking at excerpts from custom notebooks. Elevate your brand identity. We all have these notebooks laying around, but this source claims they can be a serious branding powerhouse. I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical, but really curious to see if they can really live up to the hype.
Yeah, I think that skepticism is pretty natural. We tend to overlook the simple things, right? But the real key here is brand perception. Think of a company like Apple, right? Sleek designs, innovative products, high quality. That's their brand perception, and it just influences everything they do, from their devices to even how they package things. And even with a great product or service, if that perception isn't there, it's really hard to stand out in a crowded market.
So you're saying it's not just what you offer, but how people see it. That reminds me of a conference I went to recently. The usual swang bag full of pens and keychains. Pretty sure most of it ended up in the trash. But imagine if they gave out a really nice personalized notebook. Now that's something I would actually use and keep around.
Exactly. A custom notebook, it becomes an expression of your brand, something tangible people can interact with. And it's that thoughtfulness that sticks with people. It translates into brand recall. Imagine you get a really well-made notebook as a gift. That thoughtfulness, it kind of stays with you,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Well, the Advertising Specialty Institute, they found that brands using promotional products like these custom notebooks have an 88% recall rate.
Wow, 88%.
Yeah, so people are way more likely to remember those brands. Pretty powerful stuff.
That's a lot higher than I would have guessed. I'm starting to see why this source is so into custom notebooks.
Yeah, and they offer so much potential for customization, which is key to making them really reflect your brand's personality. Let's look at the three key strategies this source talks about. Customization, using notebooks as a marketing tool, and then brand consistency. First, the notebook itself. Do you go for a classic hardcover, or like a trendy spiral, or maybe even a sleek minimalist design? Even the style says something about your brand.
Oh, so it's like choosing an outfit for your brand. Like a tech company might want a sleek hardcover, and a creative agency might go for something bolder, like a colorful spiral notebook or something. And then there's the cover design.
Yeah, the cover's your canvas. You can go with a custom design, colors, imagery, messaging. Obviously, you can put your logo there. But you can get creative, too. Maybe use a pattern from your industry or a unique illustration that captures your brand. That's where you can make a statement.
I'm picturing a travel agency handing out journals with like inspiring travel quotes on the cover and beautiful scenery, or a tech company gifting these sleek minimalist notebooks with just a subtle embossed logo.
Exactly. But it's not just about how it looks, right? Think about the materials. Are you all about sustainability? Maybe use bamboo covers, recycled paper with a cool texture. You could even do seed paper with embedded wildflowers. And the recipient can plant them. These choices, they reduce your impact on the environment, but they also tell a story about what your brand values.
Yeah, that's way more thoughtful than just a logo on something generic. But isn't a custom notebook a bit old-fashioned, in today's digital world?
That's a good point. But even though everything's digital, there's just something special about a physical notebook. In a world of screens, it's a break, a place for focused thought, for creativity. And don't forget the sense of touch. A well-made notebook, high-quality paper, it just feels different. And that elevates your brand.
Yeah, I totally get that. Love the feel of a good pen on a nice, smooth page. Way better than typing on a screen. Okay, you've convinced me about the customization part, but how do you actually use these custom notebooks as a marketing tool?
Think about all the ways you connect with your customers. Custom notebooks can be used in so many parts of your marketing. You mentioned conferences earlier. They're great for trade shows and events, unique giveaways that people actually use.
That reminds me of another conference I went to. The speaker gave out notebooks designed for taking notes during their talk. It was so smart. Everyone was engaged, taking notes. And the notebook became a reminder of the main points.
Exactly. But it's not just conferences. They make great corporate gifts for clients and employees. Imagine getting a beautiful notebook as a thank you from a company you work with. Makes you feel valued, right? It's way more personal than just a gift card.
Absolutely. Shows they put thought into it, reflects well on their brand. I'm seeing how it could be a really good strategy. But what about the cost? Wouldn't it get expensive to customize notebooks for everything?
That's where strategy comes in. You don't have to go all out with every notebook. You could have a core design and then create limited editions or special ones for certain events or clients.
Makes sense. You can be cost effective, but still keep that personal touch.
And speaking of touch, don't forget about those special printing techniques that can add that extra level of sophistication and brand recognition. Have you ever gotten a notebook with your name or initials on the cover?
Oh, yeah. I have one with my initials embossed in gold. Feels so special.
Exactly. Embossing, debossing, foil stamping. They add texture, visual interest. Your notebooks stand out. And when it comes to branding, standing out is key. But even with all these customization options, got to remember that consistency is king.
You don't want your notebook looking totally different from your website or social media. So how do you keep that brand consistency across all those different platforms?
Yeah, you don't want people to think it's from a different company. It should all feel like part of the same brand.
Exactly. And that's where that third strategy comes in. Maintaining brand consistency. Your website, social media, marketing materials, even your custom notebooks. They should all be speaking the same visual language, reinforcing your brand identity. It's like a symphony orchestra, right? Each instrument has its own sound, but when they all play together, you get this beautiful, cohesive
I
experience.
like that analogy. So if everything's aligned visually, it tells me the brand is thoughtful, makes me trust them more. But does all this actually work in the real world? Does the source have any examples of companies using this successfully? They do, and it's a great one. It's about their own company, actually, Lion Paper. They created these limited edition custom planners for their partners, and each planner had the recipient's name engraved on the cover.
Okay, I'm interested already. That's a lot more personal than just a logo. Did it work? What was the response?
Oh, it was huge. The partners loved that personal touch. A lot of them shared pictures of the planners on social media, created a ton of buzz, gave Lion Paper some great free exposure. Think about it. Each post introduced a new audience to the brand. And in a positive way, too. The takeaway is these planners weren't just notebooks. They were statements, symbols of the company's values.
It's like they're saying, we care about you, we value this partnership, and we're going the extra mile to show you that. And those planners were something people used every day. So that message was reinforced constantly, reminding them of Lion Paper's quality and that personal approach. It's brilliant. It's less of a marketing tactic and more like an investment in the relationship. But what about industries outside of creative fields? Like, would this work for a financial advisor or a fitness studio?
Definitely. Remember, it's about adapting the concept to your brand and your industry. Imagine a financial advisor giving clients custom planners with sections for financial goals, budgeting, tracking progress. It would be so useful for their clients, and it would keep the advisor top of mind.
I love that. And a fitness studio could create workout journals, inspirational quotes, space for tracking workouts and meals, tips for motivation. It becomes like a companion on their fitness journey, reinforces the studio's brand and values.
Right. The possibilities are endless. It's not just about giving them somewhere to write. It's about giving them a tool that makes their experience with your brand better, someone that fits seamlessly into their lives. That's what makes this strategy so effective. It's not just a one-time thing. It's an ongoing reminder of your brand, part of their daily routine.
This whole deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I thought custom notebooks were just a generic giveaway, but I see them totally differently now. They can be so much more than just something to write in.
It's all about shifting our perspective, right? We underestimate the power of simple things, especially in a world that's all about digital marketing. But like we've seen, something as simple as a notebook can be powerful when you use it strategically. Sometimes the best solutions are right in front of us. We just need to look closer and get creative.
Couldn't agree more. So what's the most important takeaway from this deep dive for you? What should our listeners remember?
I think it's that branding is more than just logos and slogans. It's about creating an experience that connects with people emotionally. It's the little touches that make people feel valued. And like we learned today, a custom notebook can do that.
That's a great point. It's about those memorable experiences that make you stand out. This source really highlighted how custom notebooks can cut through the noise and create something people will appreciate. Yeah, it's about making people feel like they're part of something. And in a world that can feel so impersonal, those little touches are huge.
It really is. It's like getting a handwritten note or a thoughtful gift. It makes you feel like someone cares. And that's what we want people to feel about our brands, right? Valued, appreciated, connected.
And what's so interesting is how something as simple as a notebook can do that. It's not just giving them something to write in, it's giving them something that represents your brand, what you stand for.
Yeah, it's something tangible, goes beyond the digital world into their physical space, becomes part of their life, and each time they use it, that connection with your brand gets stronger.
It's amazing to think about. Something as basic as a notebook can change how people see a brand. This source really made me rethink custom notebooks.
They're a really unique tool, practical, but also personal. Lets you connect with people in a way that feels genuine. And like we talked about, the key is to be strategic. Focus on customization, brand consistency, and how it fits into your overall marketing.
So I think it's safe to say that custom notebooks are way more than just stationery. They're a powerful tool that can help us tell our stories, connect with people, and make a lasting impression. That's all for today's deep dives into the power of custom notebooks. Thanks for joining us.